Hey guys, got sent a new product, so decided I thought I'd do a bit of a review. It is micro USB cables. Could be considered not the most exciting thing in the world, fair enough, but it does make a difference the cable you get, especially if you're using these new 2.1 amp charging or even higher amperage cables and such like. So these are from Enacfire, available on Amazon. Put a link up here. 6-pack, and they come in various different sizes, so I will open these guys up. So pretty heavy box, well packed. Okay, so there's not really going to be a whole host of instructions in these kind of things, but you know, it is where it is. But like I say, pretty well packed. Now, if memory serves, you get one 10-foot, one 6-foot, three 3-foots, and a 1-foot. And the gauge of the cables does seem to go up also, just to compensate the voltage drop. And yeah, so check this one out. Pretty thick, nice, good connectors there. You know, just factory made connection, I would say, but most are. But these are quite good, quite chunky, and these guys. It's kind of the thing you'd chuck a couple in when you go travelling in your bag. You know, cover all eventualities. You've got the nice little logo on the end there, and to be honest, they just feel pretty quality, pretty chunky, substantial. It's kind of what you want. I think the bad boy, the big guy here, I think this is more likely going to be if you've got something in perfect situ. So if you've got a I've got a Sony tablet, Sony Xperia Z2, that has a little docking station, and then you need power to feed that docking station, so you're probably going to need something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be vaguely scientific, although you know, within the realms of realisticness, and I'm going to just get some power banks and charge up sort of standard conditions, and I'm going to get some, got a whole host of these cables, and I'm going to compare them to some cheap ass cables, and then we can see how it works out. Okay, I'll go and do those tests, and then I'll come back with the results. Hey guys, I was thinking about the best way to test these things and the cables. So I mentioned something earlier, I think I thought of about maybe down to how long it takes to charge something, but really all we're concerned about is, you know, the amperage you can get through the cable, because they're all 5 volts or thereabouts, and that's the devices you're using is 5-volt cable. So the amperage is what's going to determine the amount of power you can put through, ultimately how long it takes to charge your device. So what I thought about doing is using little USB power meter. I've got a tablet charger, which is a Huddle from a store in the UK, Tesco's. And I thought we'd do a bit of a comparison, because it'd be interesting to see how different cables fare, because normally you look at a cable and you gauge how good it is and the thickness or the quality of it, and it's you know, does that hold true? So it'd be interesting to try. Now I've got some cables of different lengths that I happen to have and about the place, and I've also got the cable that came with this charger. So this cable should definitely be rated at the full 2 amps. I haven't got the exact same sizes that come with the Enacfire cables, but what I have is a 1.5 foot, a 2 foot, a 4 foot and a 6 foot, which, you know, roughly compares to the ones that are provided by Enacfire, which is a 10 foot, 6 foot, 3 foot and 1 foot. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they compare. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a power bank that I know can draw up to 2 amps when it's charging. I've depleted that power bank. I did try this test earlier, but what I discovered was the power bank was already at 99%, so that was going to skew the results. So if I turn that on, and see there, 74%. So we know that decent way before it would be fully charged, so it should draw full current at least. So without further ado, I'll start with the smaller cables. I've just got a power brick here. It's unfortunate that it's going to be the wrong way around, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so that would be facing down. So what I'll do is, I'm going to get the box out of the way, and I'll put this here. Now, I'll move 2 of these out of the way. We don't need to test 3 identical cables, which is what they should be, because it comes with 3 3-foot cables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these one by one, starting with the smallest of the cables I had lying around the house first. So if I plug that end in there, this end in here, okay, now you can see on the power bank there it shows in, so that's pulling a current. And then if I zoom in on here, we can see that is drawing 1.95 amps at 10.8 watts. So that's, you know, yeah, pretty close to maximum you're going to get. That's a 10 watt charger effectively. This is the 1.5 foot cable. Quality's okay. It's not super thick, but it's pretty good quality cable. Honestly can't remember what that came with, but yeah, so that's working pretty well. What I'll do is I'll get all these results, I'll put them in the slide at the end, and just with a bit of a conclusion what I think. Okay, so I'll do the next cable. Chuck him over there. Okay, now this is a 2 foot cable and it's notably a lot thinner. Plug him in again. Now he's starting to go. Okay, so we can see that that's an absolute fraction of what it was getting before. So that's only drawing 0.25 amps. The voltage is going to vary slightly. It's 5.4 volts, so it's 1.357 watts. So that's going to take a hell of a long time to charge your power bank with that cable. It's nearly what's that, an eighth of the last one. So that is going to make a big difference. So next cable. Now this is the 4 foot cable that comes with the this power brick USB adapter. So it should handle the full charge. There you go. It's straight up to 1.93 there, 10.74 watts. 1.93 amps that was, apologies. So yeah, so that's pretty much right up there. It's what you'd expect. Pretty much max of the charger, so that should charge up your device pretty quick. And I think the danger is sometimes you have these cables lying around, because micro USB cables are, on most things, except an iPhone. So the danger is you just pick a cable up, use it and just think, oh, that'll be okay, cable's a cable. In reality, you know, your device could take 4 times as long to charge. It was shown by the other cable, which was pretty short, you know, and if you go on the assumption that the shorter cable should, you know, carry more current, but obviously it's not always the case. Okay, so I've got a 6-foot cable here. This is reasonably chunky, works pretty well. Sorry, works pretty well. It's pretty chunky, it looks quite good quality, so let's give this a go and we'll plug it in. Okay. Now I think the length of the cable's counting against it here. It's only pulling in 0.78 amps and 4.31 watts. So this is about half of what they potentially could be pulling. So you know, it's okay, but it's not great. And this does feel like a quality cable. And this actually is one that I use for charging my Xperia Z2. So I don't think I'll be using that too much more, and I'll probably revert to that 4-foot cable there, or actually more likely longer cable from Enacfire if it works pretty well. So like I say, we've got the 4 cables here to test, so I'll go through these one by one. This is a nice little ditty cable you chuck in your bag if you're flying or you're going away camping or something, because you don't need a huge long cable, just enough to get you by, because you just position your phone pretty close to it, you know. So yeah, so plug this little fella in. Again, 75% in charging, and there you go. Wow, so it's 10.83 watts, so 8.89 peaked up back there. So yeah, 1.95 amps. That's pretty much maxing out that charger. Now I don't have anything that does the Qualcomm quick charge or anything like that, unfortunately, because that might have shown a higher amperage, but I think, you know, doing this as the 2 amp, and it's showing the difference there, that short cable compared to the other short cable I had before. So okay. This is the 3-foot cable. Now there's 3 of these, because it's a pretty good length, you know, or 1 meter really in the UK, thereabouts. Let's plug that in again, so we'll see how fast it charges. Okay, 10.8 peaked out, comes down slightly, 1.94 amps. So again, it's pretty much right up there. It's on the limit of the charger, so it's maxing it out. You know, it's got a good thickness to that cable, feels pretty good, and there's 3 of those, so perfect for dotted around the house when you've got different devices, or a few things to charge. Okay. This is the 6-foot cable, just getting that bit longer. You know, if you've got somewhere you need to hide it behind something, you know, it's probably where you want to use it. So okay, again 1.95 down 1.93, 10.69 watts. It's pretty close to the limit, gotta say. Smidge below. Maybe this is the same thickness, the same gauge it looks like as the slightly shorter cable, so maybe that's counting against it, but I'd really nitpicky if you're gonna look at that. I just settle down a little bit further there, 1.86, 10.3 watts. So yeah, so works pretty well again, even longer length. And then we've got the bad boy super long cable, the 10-foot, 3-meter cable, 3 and a bit. Okay, now the one thing I say is this is noticeably, it's chunkier, a lot chunkier. Doesn't bend as easily, but I think it's more likely for something permanently in situ, you know, if you could submit behind a bedside cabinet again, something like that. So again, we'll put this in, and that's 10.8, yeah, 1.95, 1.94. So I think the extra thickness, the extra gauge of the cable, it's kind of counting its favour. It's working pretty much exactly the same as the smaller cables. Like I was saying, you get really nitpicky if you are. It's settled down to that third cable, similar-ish throughput. So you'd have to be getting really nitpicky if that wasn't up there. And again, very similar to the last one, 1.86 and 10.3 watts. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. And I think the gauge of the cable does make a difference. It's not the be all and end all. Not everyone has something like this, but it's good to test. So at least if you're getting a proven entity, you buy a good cable. So it definitely makes a difference. So what I'll do is I'll put a slide up at the end of the video, and that'll show all the results. These were from Amazon. And it's probably hard to see, but yeah, that's the list, and you can search on there. They're shown as Enacfire Powerline Premium Micro USB cables. Yeah, work pretty well, pretty reliable for the test anyway. It's a very short test, I must admit, but they do work well, and I think there definitely is a difference between the generic cables, especially when you get cheap devices. You get these things in the slow boat from China, and it's micro USB power, and they'll throw in a cheap small cable, and then you end up using it for something else, charging your tablet or whatever, and then you wonder why it takes a day to charge it, or your power bank. And I think that's the reason why. So Enacfire very kindly sent these to me for review, and I think pretty good, and thumbs up, gotta say. So yeah, like these. I'll put a slide up now that shows the comparison of the figures. And maybe I'll do it again and just let them settle down a bit and then show them. But yeah, cracking. Cheers, guys.